Yo everyone, welcome back to BizCraft. Today we're talking about the season of sacrifice. What the hell? What does that mean? So I actually heard it explained in a different way yesterday by someone else, basically explaining that it is the unscalable things that you have to do to get your business off the ground. So okay. No. Where are we? No. I don't know which way I'm going. I don't my horse. Hold on. I know. Okay. So, what is the season of sacrifice? This is the season of sacrifice. It's where you are the scientist and you don't have capital and you don't have business experience. So the best thing you can do is learn all the channels. So you want to get new clients, you do cold email outreach, you do cold DMing people, you do cold calling people, and you want to learn all this stuff, but it takes up all your time. And then when you get the clients, because you're learning over a course of like weeks and months how to do it, how to set this up, how to make this work for your business, what happens is you're still doing all the delivery and you're still doing all the sales. So you get the clients and then you close the clients all yourself and then you do whatever it is. So for me, it's building them a website. The season of sacrifice is when you don't have the ball knowledge yet. Guys, I don't know if I'm going the right way. I think it's this way. You don't have the ball knowledge yet hold on. Let's turn the old, yeah, okay, good. Render distance is all the way up because I don't want my stuff to despawn. That'll be really tragic. Yeah, you don't have the ball knowledge to know how to actually do all the stuff that you need to do. This is a huge portal, by the way. Really cool. They added these kind of structures in. Okay, so this is the right way. We're we're over here. Get juked. I'm locked in. So yeah, you don't have the game. You don't have the ball knowledge. Sorry, I'm going over things multiple times. You don't have the ball knowledge to know exactly what it is that you need to do to get the results from those channels. So you need to do them yourself. You can't hire someone because you don't know how to do them. You don't have an SOP written, a standard operating procedure, and you need that. So you got to do it yourself, because if you just hire, you're just going to be like, you won't know the difference between a good hire and a bad hire, because you don't actually know how to do the thing. You don't know how to best email people. You don't know how to best, so you don't know. So you could just hire someone and they're doing half the results, but you don't even know the numbers because you've never even done cold email before. That's hugely important. So if you've done business before, you can see how this stacks. If you have capital, you can see how this stacks. You can see how the rich get richer and the poor stay poor, because it's really hard. But this is the kind of thing you got to push through and get to the other side with. So a few points from me. Let me just check the time is going. It is going. That's really good. So number one I've written down here is, you aren't just doing outreach to get clients, you're doing it to learn the language. So this is kind of what I've just explained. Learn the language of the market. So that's all the different things. So that's your niche, that's your offer, that's your area geographically, but just your market. So your general market. We're about to go down to 300 bars. This is about to be tragic. This might be tough to get past these last few skeletons. I have no sprint left because I ran the whole way. Hey gang. Yeah, you got no aim, bro. Woohoo! Talk to me. Oh, it's not looking good. It's not looking good. No. They gave me the old pincer technique. Oh, I'm so done. We need a miracle here. Oh my days, they're going to climb this so much faster than me. What is going on? What is going on? That's not ideal. There's 2 more skeletons, bruh. Nerf the skeletons, dude. There's 4 of them. Okay, somehow I'm faster than this. Than this spider. Creepy creeper. I'm so locked in right now. I don't want to die. I'm not going to lie. There's another Enderman. Respect, respect. Is there a bed in here? There is, there is. Get me inside. Come on. Okay. If you hire a virtual assistant or a caller to do cold calls for you, before you've done 500 DMs yourself, you won't know if the script is bad or if the hire is lazy and it's not putting in the numbers because you don't know the numbers. So doing the grunt work gives you the data to build the standard operating procedure, this SOP, and you need to write that. You need to make that yourself. You need to say, this is how we do it, start to finish. Oh dear. But the hire will then be like the lab assistant who follows your proven formula, as opposed to being some droid who maybe, for example, claims, oh, I've done it before, and they haven't because they just want the bag, they just want the cash, they just want the money. So it's important. It's important that way. My stuff's down there. Let's hope it's actually there. That would be tragic if it wasn't. What does it have? Like a 5-minute respawn time? Is it all gone? I swear the chunk has to be unloaded for 5 minutes. There's my XP. Bro, there's no way that all my stuff's gone. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Okay. That's source number 1. So don't be hiring until you know how to do it, yeah? Luckily, the world is kind of set up this way that it's hard enough that you kind of have to do it all yourself. And you do. And this is why kind of the economy of the world is kind of built on small businesses, is because you have to put in so much extra effort to be able to get that surplus, money, get that surplus, all the surplus, all the extras, all the niceties, if you see what I'm saying. So yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. It's interesting. Next one, the dollar per hour hierarchy. Okay, so not all work is created equally. We know this. All kinds of work. That's probably the guy who killed me, let's be real. What a hater. So outreach is about $10 to $15 an hour work. This is true and is going to become increasingly true because, especially with DMs and emails, and that was referring to DMs and emails, but DMs and emails, you can just do them with AI. So people don't know, but you can just do the entire thing with AI. And it's quite scary. With email replies, I know that it takes more for someone to reply to an email than to reply to a DM. So, like, I will be checking each reply at least at first. But yeah, I guess what just happened? Okay, there we go. But yeah, I guess you have to do the $10 work now so you can afford to pay someone else to do it later. Because the strategy and closing in sales are $100 an hour work. So the moment your business makes enough money to cover a VA salary, you buy your time back, get the VA, and then that 6 hours of outreach that you were doing cold calling for 4 hours a day, and then email and DMs for an hour each, becomes 6 hours of closing or product improvement. And yeah, for me, it would be that. It probably would be delivery at first, and then it would be to make sure the client base we currently have is happy. And then when the client base is really happy and the biggest bottleneck is leads, then I just get another lead channel like organic marketing or paid ads. So that's that. Next one is high friction versus low friction outsourcing. So this is the UK caller versus BA. What do we have left? 5 minutes. Cool. All right. In 5 minutes. Oh, our pumpkin's grown. It's always good. I reckon we expand the farm. It's going to keep expanding. I've seen some awesome farms in my time. Let's try and make one of those. Look at that. Perfect. High friction versus low friction outsourcing. This is, so if you live in the UK, you'll know that you're going to do a lot better if you have a UK accent speaking on your phone. So you need someone from the UK to do your cold calls. You need someone from the UK to do your closing as a salesman. So start with the robot work first, because cold calling is harder. It's also, you also need to pay more because you're paying for someone from the UK as opposed to outsourcing to somewhere like the Philippines, which you'd be paying less for. And so DMs and emails are low friction. They follow a script and can be done from anywhere. But the source is, don't hire for the hard stuff, so cold calling, but hire for the easier stuff. If you think about it like this, in two scenarios, one where you start with like, because if I were to keep hiring, I would either grow and stay as the head point of the company, or what I could do is just hire every role that we need, and then eventually I'd get to my role, and I'd hire someone for my role, and then I'd just be the business owner. And it's as simple as that. And so if you think about it from that, if you have someone if I hire my role, if you have my role at the start, when there's no guarantee of pay, no guarantee of like an actual company that they're running, like right from the start, then that guy who's meant to be doing my role that I do now, all the management, all that everything, they are, they're not gonna, like, they're gonna have to take a huge pay cut, like percentage of the business is what I'm talking about. If you think about it, like if it was a co-founder, if it was a co-founder you were doing it with, they'd have half the business. Boom, that's half the business gone. That's not in your pocket. That's the kind of sacrifice you make to have two of business owners, two of the CEO type people, two founders, two people who are all in and can do these kind of sacrificial hours, right? But if you do it by yourself, or if you hire the other way from the ground up, then it's so much easier to hire and to make that momentum rather than sacrifice 50% of your company or whatever you have to sacrifice, if that makes sense. So you can do the cold caller first. It won't kill you, as long as, well, it might, it depends. But I think you see what I'm saying. I'm kind of yapping now, but cold calling requires more empathy. It's harder. Master the easy to delegate tasks first, like cold DM and cold email, first to free up 50% of my day, and then I'll save the big hire when revenue is there, when revenue is stable. So a little bit of sauce for you, We've collected quite a few things. I'm going to make another chest. Make two. Hello. Yeah, let's get through these last ones. Gold. Nice, I can put that in the other chest. So next one. This is a really, really important one. If you're working 12-hour days, you're cooked unless you actually track it. If you have to work 12 hours a day because you're in this crazy work period where you're doing unscalable things to get your business to scale, then you're going to need an SOP, a standard operating procedure, that is a document where you write down everything that you do step by step, super, super boring stuff, so that you can give it to someone else so that they can do it, so that they can do it for you. So if you just work and don't record the process, you can never leave. Every time I send a DM that gets a reply, I save it. And then every time a cold call goes well, I note why. Those two things are really important. I've got a really nice, what's it called? I've got a really nice objection handling sheet where when I'm on a call with someone and they say, well, I don't want it because of X, Y, Z, I say, well, actually, like that doesn't really cover what you're saying. It doesn't really make sense. So that kind of thing. So all this stuff is really important to develop in your business. And an SAP, yeah, it's great. So you are building a manual so that when you hire, you aren't training them from scratch. You're just handing them a book of what already works, which then outsources your time when they're hired, which makes it very easy to manage, to navigate that transitionary period where you've hired someone, so you need to train them, and therefore, like, you need to sacrifice time to train them. But this is like, this makes it very helpful. And you can do that, if that makes sense. While just letting them get on with it. They can hire, they train themselves. It's the same with like leads. If you can get leads to qualify themselves, you can get leads to nurture themselves by posting free content, and then that content stacks up over time, and they watch different bits over years. Then they'll become your lead. So, last one, the winning before the hire mindset. We're done. Of course we are. Most people hire because they're tired. You should hire because you're too busy making money. So the point is, if you hire because you're burnt out, you'll hire the first person who says yes, and they'll likely suck. So this is a bit of hyperbole. This is what AI said, but I've kept it in because if you're burnt out, then you will make rash decisions like that. And if you don't know the numbers, then you will also make rash decisions like that. Like whether it comes from that emotional place or whether it comes from that logical place, it doesn't matter. You'll still get cooked by it, is kind of my point. So the goal is to be so effective, regardless of how you feel, and very much in regards to what you understand and what you know. So you need to be so effective at your 12-hour grind that your business forces you to hire. So you want to be overflowing with leads, not running away from the work, because different lead acquisition strategies stack up, compound, whatever you want to call it. So like cold DM, you can send out 25 DMs per account, but then like you can't send more, otherwise you'll get flagged and put in spam. But if a conversation is started, then you can just like reply, and that doesn't count towards the 25 because Facebook see that as an additional conversation. So it's just not 25 messages a day. It's 25 plus however many that you need to reply to. So those stack up. So it's really a compounding game as long as it's right. You know, it would be really hard to get it break even on the dot, if you see what I'm saying. I'm actually gonna throw this away. So yeah, that's all for today. I didn't get much done in the old Minecraft world because I spent a whole like 7 minutes running back to base. But there's a lot to do. I got a horse last time. This time, I feel like next time we could try getting some obsidian and going to the Nether maybe. Who knows? Let's just get freaky. Actually, I need to build a house. That's what's happening next. But please let me know any business questions you have. Put them in the comments and I will answer them. And thank you very much for watching. I hope this is helpful. See you tomorrow.